Now, in the animation world, there are times where a sequel is actually good than the original. Actually, even better than the original, like Toy Story 2, or even Inside Out. Okay, no, not Inside Out 2, which it was good, but like not amazing good, but whatever. There are some times where an animated movie is good as a standalone film. But the creators of the movie just see the money and say, hey, let's make a sequel. We live in a world where sequels, threequels, fourquels, even fifthquels, or even a sixthquel, or even a tenthquel, which isn't even a thing, are made. And you want to know what type of sequel we're talking about today? Yep, we're talking about FOURquels, the most mixed sequel idea of all time. In my honest opinion, the FOURquel is honestly the most mixed bag of animation movies of all time, honestly. Sometimes they are fine, sometimes they are just mid, or sometimes just bad movies overall. But some of these movies are not really bad. Like, for instance, I actually like Shrek 4 and I actually like Toy Story 4, even though it shouldn't even exist. Shrek 4 feels like the franchise is finally back for what it was. After what happened to Shrek 3. But some FOURquels I absolutely hate or just think it's forgettable or meh. Like freaking Despicable Me 4 and Ice Age 4. I'm gonna ask this again, why is Drake in that movie? So please, join me on this forgettable adventure on the middest franchise of all time. Today we're gonna be ranking every single FOURquel ever made. I literally just talked about this movie, so I'm gonna make it short. From the director of Hotel Transylvania, except not this time, because he literally did not show up in the directing chair of all time and just told people to watch Primal. Go watch Primal, by the way, it's pretty good. And from the voice that gave you Dracula, except not this time, because he literally did not show up in the voice booth at all. And coming soon to October, spooky month, except not this time. The movie just missed its release date like it was nothing. That just shows you it didn't even want to exist. It took Sony so long to find a distributor for the film to even put it on streaming. That just shows you that nobody even wanted this movie to even exist. Right. I'm getting carried away. How's the film itself? It's f***ing boring. It's literally like the same movie, but with a different concept. The humor is pretty bad, and the story's kind of the same thing. Dracula is afraid that Johnny's going to ruin the hotel, but he also has to give it to... He's retiring, so he's got to give it to Johnny. But at the end of the week, he has to love Johnny and accept him he's going to run the hotel. Yeah, that seems a little familiar, doesn't it? I cannot stress this enough. It's like literally like the same movie. It's the same copy and pasted beat for beat, and it's literally like the same message. The concept of monsters turning into humans was cool, I guess, but like, I feel like it would have been more better in a short film kind of style instead of like an actual feature film. And that's basically all I gotta say. I literally just talked about it. If you actually want to hear my full review on the movie, just go watch my Sony video. Anywho, overall, Hotel Transylvania 4 was kind of the worst one, but I will admit something. The guy they got for Brian Hall, he's basically like this guy who can do impressions of characters. He actually went to Disney World to show the actual characters his voice and their voice. And he actually did a pretty good job, I will admit that. But still, a terrible movie in the franchise, honestly, and it's pretty boring. I know you heard the rumors. You must get over to it. Congratulations for being the first big budget movie in the Despicable Me franchise, I guess. I guess that's something to be proud of, because Illumination kind of keeps their budget kind of small. You want to know reason why? So they can make more money, of course. And you know what this movie did? It got them a big ton of money. That's why Minions and Monsters is coming out, baby. Why do you think it's coming out? You know why it's coming out? To tell a story about Hollywood and make money. Wait, oh. It's actually doing good. 90%. Don't listen to me at all. Despicable Me as a franchise is basically like this. Hey, are you doing work stuff and you want to keep your kid entertained? Well, put our movie on and we will have no problem entertaining your child throughout your whole work day. Wait, really? Oh my god, thank you, Illumination. I'm gonna put on Despicable Me 4 for my kids to watch so they can get entertained so I can do my work. That's basically what it is. It's basically, they make this so I can put my kids to be entertained. That's pretty cool. I'll just put this on. Illumination as a whole is kind of hated, honestly. But in my opinion, They're not the worst thing in the world, but they're not, like, amazing or something like that. Their animation's pretty good, having realistic textures or something like that, like migration or something like that. But, like, yeah, Illumination is basically a greedy studio, in my opinion. They do have a strategy for getting a lot of money. Basically, make the budget small and just pop a lot of jokes and put the Minions on the screen, and we get $1 million. That's what everybody thought Minions and Monsters would be, except it's actually doing pretty good in the review score. So I'm curious. I'm seeing it tomorrow, I think. I don't know. But overall, back on Despicable Me 4, it's a pretty bad movie, honestly. The animation's good. You can tell because of the budget's big again. Like, it's pretty big, like $100 million. The animation's pretty good, I guess. Songs go pretty hard, I guess. Like, Double Life, I actually really love that song. Go listen to it on Spotify. There's a lot of terrible subplots that don't even go nowhere, like the kids going to karate class, Margot getting bullied on the first day of school, Lucy working as a hairdresser and then run away from this woman she pissed off, Minions at the AVL to become superheroes or something, and then Gru trying to bond with his son. All of these fillers are in this one movie. These subplots are all in this movie simultaneously. I actually didn't even laugh at all. Despicable Me as a franchise is supposed to be funny. It's supposed to have humor that is pretty good. But I did not even laugh once at this movie. This is probably the most unfunny Despicable Me movie so far, honestly. I actually had to go back and watch the first Despicable Me movie to see how funny it was while also being very emotional. And yeah, it's still pretty good to my opinion. Like, the Minions are not bad, they're pretty funny while not being overused as much. And the story they tell in this movie about a bad guy learning to love his girls and learning to accept family is pretty cool. And I love the message. Sure, it's not amazing like Hollywood amazing, but it's pretty good for a studio's first feature film. Yeah. So everybody thought Illumination was going to be a good studio. Just a simple, good studio. But that's not the end of the story. That's not how it goes. It's not going to be, a simple, good studio who makes really good movies with a simple budget and has a great humor. No. That's not how it goes. Because there was one thing Illumination saw after the first movie came out and the second movie came out. You want to know what that is? Dollar signs. After the first Despicable Me movie made a lot of money in the box office, the Minions were generally praised by the public. They were actually likable, funny, and didn't do that much to the story. That's what we wanted the Minions to be. But after Illumination saw the dollar signs on the first Despicable Me movie and the second one, they kind of realized, guys, we don't actually have to try with any movies again. We should just make movies for the sake of making the movie and make people laugh and don't even teach them a lesson about life. So let's just do that. After Minions came out, it's kind of clear to everybody that Illumination isn't going to try with their movies ever again, and just make movies for the sake of making movies and make $1 billion in the box office because, it's the Minions. They're very funny on the screen. But back on Despicable Me 4. Is it a good movie? No. It's probably like the worst one in the franchise, honestly. Animation's good, but aside from that, everything else is bad. Like, every single subplot besides the main plot with Gru and his son, like his baby son was, like, bad, honestly. Gru and his baby son were only the most enjoyable part about this whole movie because it was sweet. Every single side plot in this movie was really forgettable, honestly. You can remove it from half of the movie and it still wouldn't matter. And look, not to diss on Stephen Carell, which, by the way, is the GOAT when it comes to acting in this movie. He kind of lost how to do Gru, honestly. Like, Gru's voice in this movie wasn't bad, but it kind of felt a little weird in this movie, in my opinion. Like, look how Gru sounds in the first movie. He sounds completely normal, how he should sound like. And Despicable Me 4, they kind of high-pitch that up for some reason. Either they need to get the Despicable Me 4 voice caster to calm down or something, or they just need to calm down with Steve Carell overall. Overall, in my honest opinion, Despicable Me 4 has good animation, but has a very bad story, in my opinion. And overall, just bad humor overall, honestly. Except for the Minions, I guess. They're pretty funny, I guess, even though they're not even the main focus. And that's basically it. If you want my actual opinion on the movie, just watch the Illumination ranking video. I literally just said this with the Sony video. Go watch those videos, please. And that's pretty sad, too, because Illumination is an actual studio who isn't like a terrible studio. They actually believe that human craft is the only way to make movies instead of AI, which I really recommend Illumination. Thank you for that, because Disney, for some reason, has been obsessed with this goddamn AI stuff. And they're probably the first ever studio who who actually treats their animators like an actual piece of family. Like, they actually treat them very well. So it's pretty sad that Despicable Me 4 is an actual terrible movie, except for Illumination being an actual good studio that actually pays their animators so well and treats them like an actual family. If Illumination has good animation and actually treats their animators like a good, like, piece of family, they have to make, like, a good movie. If they have all this money to make movies, they need to make a good movie. I'm not saying they have to make a good movie, but I just want them to have a good movie. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty excited for Not Alone. But despite that, a terrible movie. The amount of anger that actually came from Shrek 4 when it actually released was astounding to me. When the movie first came out, everybody kind of hated it and called it like a terrible movie. My only thought is if Shrek 3 never existed, people would have liked this movie a whole lot more better. And now in the current year of 2026, people's opinions have changed on this movie. Honestly, Shrek 4 is the only decent movie we're talking about today. It feels like the franchise is back where it started, being funny. And now that this is the final chapter, what do I think about it? Honestly, it's pretty fine, honestly. I love the story about Shrek having a midlife crisis, he wants to go back to his old simple life and just wants to get away from it all. He makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin and goes back to the day where he never met Fiona and never had Donkey. But then this turns out this universe is when he was apparently never born. And I like the plot. It's pretty good, pretty funny stuff. I love it, so whole lot more better than Shrek 3 in terms of quality. When Shrek 3 came out, the people who didn't see Shrek and thought Shrek up a franchise, that's probably the sums of their thoughts on Shrek 3. I will admit, the whole joke about Puss being fat was kind of dragged out, honestly. It is still a messy movie if you think about it as a standalone movie on its own. It has a messy plot. It has none of funny jokes. It's probably the least funny Shrek movie of all time. Like, the least funny out of all of them. The humor isn't really the greatest thing in the world because of the high stakes that's going on. Overall, Shrek 4 is decently a good movie, honestly, but not one of the best Shrek movies of all time, honestly.
Here you are on a boat, you're adrift, you're afloat, one might even say you're stuck.
Again, I talked about it in the Blue Sky ranking. Go watch it on my actual opinion, but just for the sake of making this a video, it's a fine movie on its own. Not a good movie, but hey, I gotta admit, the credit scene was pretty cool. Like, all the characters dancing to We Are. By the way, a very good song. The thing I find very questionable about this movie, that Drake is in this movie. Why? Why is he here? I don't know. He didn't even serve as a story element, like, at all. He didn't even do anything to the story. He's just like this girlfriend that Peaches has a crush on or something. I actually get to say this again. I loved saying this. Sid is my actual bro in real life. He is still funny and likable, and to this day. I still feel very sad about how Blue Sky was killed off by Disney. Like, that's a really dark way to go out, but yeah, honestly, I can never forgive Disney for closing down this studio in particular. They were my entire childhood, dude. Fun fact about my whole childhood, these movies were the only things that I watched as a kid. I only watched Ice Age as a kid, okay? So seeing my favorite studio who made these movies get closed down is really sad to me, and I will never forgive you, Disney. F*** you. But back on the movie, it's not a bad movie per se. It's just a nothing movie. Like, hey, there's pirates. The villain was actually pretty cool. He was actually the most threatening villain in the Ice Age franchise. He's probably one of the best ones, honestly. The animation's pretty good. And, yeah, that's basically the movie. It's a nothing movie. It's an entertaining, funny movie. But as story-wise, not really the best. The messages are basically basic, like learn to let go, and that's pretty much it. If you only watch this to watch Sid and Scrat, you came to the right place. These two are still one of the funniest things about these movies. The logic is completely gone in this movie because Scrat just causes the fucking continental drift. I know from the looks of this movie, this might look like a stupid cash grab movie, which it is, but like, it's enjoyable at the least. And thank God the Ice Age 5 was considered one of the last movies from the Ice Age, so this franchise is officially dead. When Toy Story 4 was announced, the entire world just hated on this project. And when the movie released, it was actually having great reviews. but you would find nobody talking positively about it. Like, the outright anger around this movie is actually insane. Honestly, I didn't hate this movie that much. I think it was actually pretty good, but I don't think I'll call it like a masterpiece. Like, sure, I can understand why some people get mad at this. It ruined the complete ending of Toy Story 3. That Woody had Bonnie and then the story ended. But no, this movie just kind of said dollar signs. But I still think it's a pretty good movie that didn't need to exist. The animation's beautiful. The actual chemistry between Woody and Bo was actually pretty cool. And Buzz was not Buzz in this movie. I will say this. He was actually very stupid in this movie. He was actually really idiot here. He listens to his inner voice to tell him what to do. Like, okay, why? You're not this dumb. Why are you listening to an inner voice? Come on now. Oh yeah, Bo, you guys don't remember her? She left in like the third movie and we never saw why. This movie kind of explains it pretty good why she wasn't in the Toy Story 3. She was getting Did I really forget the word? Sold. That's the word. Sold. That was the word. I don't know why I blanked out for a second. Woody's character development about moving on from Bonnie and learning your own purpose was pretty cool, I guess. The villain was actually pretty stupid, in my opinion. Like, she's a Gabby doll, and I don't know why Woody gave his voice box. I mean, she didn't even deserve it. She just gave this, like, very long speech about how it is to be in a closet, which, I'll be honest, is a really relatable purpose and a relatable thing for a toy, but, like, why did Woody give her his voice box over this stupid speech? I would have just said, how about you go screw yourself? I'm not getting you this stupid voice box. It's not even that important to you. It's kind of sad we don't get to hear the voice box in Toy Story 5, which I'm pretty sad that it's gone forever. And it's with this stupid doll! But anyway, this movie wasn't that bad. I actually like the addition of Ducky and Bunny. They were actually probably the funniest part about this whole movie, because the Ducky was voiced by Michael Keegan, the best actor in the whole world. I do not care what nobody says. He played Mr. Garvey, and I love this guy. Look, Toy Story 5 isn't a masterpiece. It's nowhere near a masterpiece, but it's a good movie, okay? I need people to stop saying this is like the worst movie in the franchise, because there are not any like bad movies in the Toy Story franchise. The Toy Story franchise is one of the best franchises in the whole world. Maybe not in the whole world, but still a good franchise. And like every single movie before Toy Story 4 was really good in my opinion. But overall, Toy Story 4 is a good movie that didn't need to exist, but it's still pretty good.
My loneliness is killing me.
Kung Fu Panda 4 was actually a really disappointing movie in my opinion. It's not even like this was like a bad movie, honestly. It was pretty alright. I was just so disappointed after watching the 3 Kung Fu Panda movies, and this is definitely one of the weakest ones. I mean, if you add Awkwafina, this is automatically like a bad movie, honestly. The message is so simple, while the other 3 had very dark and deep messages, like how to be yourself and never give up, and how to move on from the past even though it hurts. This one's messages is just change happens. And while this is not like a bad message, I do actually like this message a lot. But it's just like so simple compared to the rest of the 3. The story's pretty weak, honestly. The humor is not as good as the other 3. While it's still pretty funny, I think it's still the unfunniest one, honestly. The whole concept of the other villains from the past Kung Fu Panda movies coming back to come team up with Po to defeat the chameleon, which, by the way, is easily one of the worst Kung Fu Panda villains of all time, honestly. The main thing she can do is just teleport into random things and teleport into random people. That is basically it. I actually do like the side plot of Po's dad's actually teaming up to go find him. This is easily one of the best parts about this whole movie, because these two just get along. I would watch a spin-off. DreamWorks, are you considering making a spin-off of these 2? Please do. I'm waiting for it. It's also pretty sad, because this is actually one of the lowest budget ones out of the franchise, so that's pretty sad. The animation is pretty good, but like, eh. And look, this isn't like a bad movie on its own. It's actually pretty fine, but like, it's easily one of the worst ones, honestly, and one of the weakest ones, honestly. DreamWorks is already planning to make a Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6, which, Jesus, by the way. And I'm easily not excited for them, because this one is honestly not bad. No. This one is actually kind of garbage, honestly. But not like garbage bad, but like garbage, honestly. Overall, while it's not a bad movie, it's not good at all. It's the weakest one. Po is still likable, at least. That's a saving grace. But overall, the weakest one in the franchise. if I had to rank every single FOURquel movie in this list, it's pretty inconsistent. Sometimes they are fine and basically okay, and some are just kind of bad overall. But I gotta be honest, I had a pretty good time making this video, honestly. Alright, that's the end of the video. If you actually enjoyed this video and this thing that I made, make sure to like and subscribe. I am not on my goal of 300 subscribers. I'm trying to wait until we get to like a higher goal, maybe like 250 subscribers, and then I'll start saying, oh, get me to 300 subscribers, because yeah. But thanks for Cartoon Chi for making me do this, because I was actually inspired by his ranking every FOURquel movie video, so I decided to make mine. Please go subscribe to that guy. He's actually pretty cool. Alrighty. Please let this be a higher viewed one, because the Sonic video is not doing really too well. Please get this like to 100 views at least, please. Alright, thank you for watching and have a blessed day. Bye!